Welcome to Golden Mastermind Seminars Radio with your host, Jeffrey Combs.
Good afternoon, Jeffrey Combs. Good to be here with you on Facebook Live. Breathe, release, and let go in a relaxed body. Good to be here with you. Topic for today's Facebook Live is word is law. So my word is my law. I originally came across that content, that very statement in this book, The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn, published. This is the original publishing company that I bought it from in 1991, DeVos Publishing. And from them, I also have a pack of affirmation cards that I bought in 1992 in Dallas, Texas, in a store called Overtones on 75th and Arapahoe. I do remember that very, very well. So if you're following along, here's the syllabus today for Word is Law. And if you're watching this on replay, thank you very much. Let me know if you're watching it live or replay. So I'm going to cover this today. So if you go into this book right here, I'm going to show you the chapter that it's in. And this is the very chapter that I read in 1991. And it is called The Power of Word, page 22. And it says right here, a person knowing the power of the word becomes very careful of his conversation. The person understanding the power of his word is aware of his conversation. That means speaking into existence reality I am manifesting. So if you're in anxiety, fear, and doubt, and this always happens to me, this always happens to you, nobody's there for me, when you're speaking this type of content, when you're speaking lack, scarcity, poverty consciousness, and other terms of not endearment, but terms of scarcity, as I just said, like scarcity, lack, and other words of anxiety, fear, and doubt, you'll continue to manifest and attract your reality, the very situation you seek to avoid. When you are clear with your word, when you're speaking clarity, when you're speaking from consciousness, when you're speaking from courage, when you're speaking from understanding, knowing, being aware, trust, truth, and belief, the vibration of the words are different and more unique to the words when you're speaking of lack, poverty consciousness, scarcity, no money skills. And when you're worried about the outcome that hasn't happened, you're projecting it. So in that energy that you're projecting, you actually will magnetize and attract through your word the very situation that you seek to avoid. And this is, I hope this doesn't happen to me. Well, then it ends up happening to you. When you are worried about an outcome that hasn't happened, you are virtually magnetizing your reality, the very situation you seek to avoid, and then the ego can go, see, this always happens to me. And this is what happens in anxiety, fear, and doubt. And this is also called the payoff. The payoff is continuing to recreate a situation to fulfill a feeling that you are neurochemically and emotionally addicted to. When you live in this low vibration, this energy of lack, scarcity, poverty consciousness, worried about the future hasn't happened, regretting the past, dreading the situation, procrastinating and avoiding, and all of this energy based on anger, hate, frustration, disappointment, rage, abandonment, rejection, overwhelmed feelings, grief, apathy, and pride, and then performance anxiety. You're worried about the future that hasn't happened. And so I get tongue-tied. I freeze up. This is how many people talk to me, that when I get in front of the camera, when I'm on stage, when I'm called upon, this is what happens to many people. They overwhelm themselves about the future that has not happened. And when this is you, this is what awareness is. This is what being able to change a behavior in Hebb's law means. Now you're aware of your words. You're aware that your words have been of lack throughout your life. I had a breakthrough with a man today. He became aware of how his parents put money talk into his head that has sabotaged him for years because of his dialogue with money. If your dialogue with money is not conducive to the outcome and creation of it, then that leaves you to lack scarcity and poverty consciousness and worry about money. If you create debt instead of money, and then you're worried about the debt and the interest, this just becomes a reciprocal cycle that most of the planet lives in. And you don't get rid of it. People go, how do I get rid of it? How do I get over it? You don't do any of that. What you do is you let go. You separate your feelings from the events that shape them. You have a better understanding of the cause that creates the effect. You become acutely aware of your word choices. You're cleaning up kinda, guess, and I don't know. You take a simple Post-it like this, and you write these words on it. I've had people do this many, many times. And you put it in front of it so you can see it. I mean, here's the most common words I'm going to write for you that Americans in the English language say over and over. These are the three most common ones. Right here, kinda. And I was watching a man on Instagram, a truther patriot, and he said kinda every sentence. Kinda, guess, and I don't know. Stick it somewhere so it's right in front of you. So you can see. Now when it's in front of you, you're aware of it. When you're acutely aware, when your eyes see it, then you'll start saying sentences. You'll say kinda, and you go, not kinda, not guess. I don't know. People will say, I don't know in sentences over and over like it's a period, like it's a, I don't know. And they turn it into one word, I-D-U-N-N-O. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's how people communicate. Words are law. So if you're saying I don't know in a sentence, it means I don't know, I'm in doubt. I'm not intelligent. I'm not smart. I can't figure it out. I don't know. So when you live in that state of unconscious consciousness, you're projecting your doubt. You're projecting your lack, your scarcity, your inability to change. And the reason you'll keep doing these things is because this is the term, because I am an addict. I'll ask people, why do you do this? And they'll tell me a story and I'll go, say it, I'm an addict. When you admit you're an addict, when you can come to that realization, when you can come to that reality, when you come to that truth, then you're no longer in denial. So your communication in denial is it's lack, and it's, I don't know, I don't understand. And most importantly, this is a common truth. Many people will say, this doesn't make sense. And when you continue to say, this doesn't make sense, then it doesn't make sense. And so it's this rhetorical, analytical, egoic mind that most of the planet lives in. So word is law. As you begin to change your words, you'll change your results, you'll change your actions, you'll change your outcome, you'll change your perspective, you'll change what you project, you'll change who and what you attract. Words are law. Jeffery Combs, president and founder, Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. You have an outstanding day. And once again, here's the book that started it all for me, The Game of Life and How to Play It. Florence Scovel Shinn. You have a great afternoon.